Hello everybody. Today, Baruch Hashem, we're continuing another lesson. We're reading from the book, The Royal Words. You can see this in the description. We're on this, I believe this is the third lesson for the Sikha, what's the name of it over here? For the Sikha from the talk spoken on the fourth day of the week of the Torah Parshas Bo, and on the third of Shevat, and on Shabbos, the Torah Parshas Bo, the 6th of Shevat, 5752. And we're going to start on page 114, number 7. So we're discussing up to here about how that Hashem brought a special revelation to Moshe Rabbeinu for the Jewish people. And we're going to go on to explain that Hashem wanted, in other words, the whole reason for everything, for the whole world, and the whole creation, and everything that we're doing now, is that we should make a dwelling place for Hashem. And once we make a dwelling place for Hashem, then Hashem dwells with us, and that's total ecstasy and total joy, because Hashem is dwelling in a revealed way, and Hashem is the good from the good, and the best of the best. There's nothing like Hashem. So when He's revealed at such a level, so this is what we're all trying to do. This is what we're doing since the day of creation. And this is accomplished, as you say, that to bring down this level of godliness that's above the world into the world through what we've done here. Now, how is it possible that a person can bring such a limited world, such revelation of godliness in such a limited world? How can the world stay in existence? So this happens, the only way this happens is Hashem Himself has to come and give you the power to do it. And this is what happened in Egypt. When Moshe Rabbeinu was afraid to go to Pharaoh because of his evilness on one side, because of his holiness on the other side, Hashem said to him, "Come with me. I'm going to come. I, God, will come with you. Nobody else can do it, only me. And therefore, we're going to be able to show and to reveal these high levels of godliness and staying in this world." And since Moshe Rabbeinu was able to do that, Hashem gave this revelation to Moshe, and it became much part of him. So then he was able, later on, was able to complete his mission, that the Jews should, like we talked about before, to serve Hashem on the mountain where Moshe Rabbeinu originally talked to him, to receive the Torah. Because at the reception of the Torah, that was the whole thing, that which revealed the essence of God into the world, and the world stays a world. That you take away the degree between the upper worlds and the lower worlds. So this was accomplished through Hashem give Moshe Rabbeinu the power to break the klipa from Pharaoh, and also be able to see the greatness of Pharaoh, the holiness on the other side. Okay, 7. So up to we said right before that Hashem was able to heal Moshe Rabbeinu so he could speak. And this later brought to the completion of the revelation of speech at the giving of Torah. It says, "Anointed am Hashem your God," which then Moshe was completely healed. After the giving of Torah, Moshe was completely healed because the voter was done. It was able to bring godliness down all into the world. That's why everything was healed, because God was everywhere and was revealed everywhere. So God's revealed everywhere. There's no bad. Now we're in 7. With this, we shall understand the idea of come to Pharaoh in the holy sense, since Moshe was afraid of him. Moshe, from the perspective of his level on his own, he was hard of speech and hard of verbalization, due to the numerous immense revelations which transcend vessels. Was afraid, thinking, how can the vessels receive the immense lights of the bursting forward of all lights? And this, how can I receive it? It's too much. And this is the content of the innovation of Hashem saying the power of this new thing that Hashem did, the new thing brought into the world, Hashem brought into the world. He says, come to Pharaoh. Hashem brought him into the room within rooms. With this, Hashem gave him the power. What's the power? The power of the essence of Hashem. That the vessels of a soul in the body should have the ability to receive in an internal fashion all these lofty revelations from his blessed essence. From him burst forth and are revealed all the lights. Let's go over this last part again. So Hashem brought him into room within rooms. With this, Hashem gave him the power. What's the power? The power of the essence of Hashem. What does that do? Since the essence of Hashem there is above both levels, He's above everything, and He is there, and He creates everything. Therefore, He gives the vessels, which is of the soul and the body, that the body has the capability that it should be able to receive in an eternal fashion all the lofty revelation of His blessed heavens, From him burst forward and reveal all the light. In other words, you could have $1 million light bulb. If you have a light bulb, all of a sudden, the light bulb can receive all the lights, can receive all the energy, and it doesn't go out of existence. So same thing here is that the vessels of the body, that God gave us His essence. And He gave us His essence, so therefore we are higher than any of the levels. We are like part of God ourselves, in a real sense. And since we have this level, God brought us, so therefore He made the vessels so special that they can stay in existence even with tremendous revelation from God. Okay, on page 115. And the reason for this is that since this is the purpose of the perfection of the entire order of gradational descent, in other words, a level of going from one level to lower level in an orderly descent of the worlds, of all the lights, including from the level of Pharaoh, bursting forth of all the lights, for Hashem desired to have a dwelling place for Himself, blessed be in the lowest realms. And the reason for this, I'm going to from the top, and the reason for this, so why did all of this happen? Why did Hashem come to Pharaoh, bring Moshe to Pharaoh so that he could receive all these great levels, all these great revelations, and stay alive? And the reason for this is since that the purpose and the perfection of the entire order of the gradational descent, which means the level of change descent from one level to another level of the world. So the reason all of this was made, and of all the lights and all the world, and including the level of power that burst forth all this. All of this was created. Why was all this created? Why did Hashem create higher, lower world to this world, and He created lights, and He created the lights that burst forward in His house? Why did Hashem do that? For Hashem desired to have a dwelling place for Himself, blessed be He, in the lowest realms, that in the limitation and of a soul and a body in the lowest realms, there should be the revelation of the essence of Hashem. That the lowest level that you can go with, and we look in the world how people are doing crazy things, and we've done almost all of us have done many crazy things in our own life that's stupid, and we still do it, God forbid, sometimes. We say, how is it possible? How is it possible that God could reveal Himself? Yes, it is. Hashem says He's revealing His essence even in the world down below, and through this, and therefore there was the phenomenon, and Hashem said to Moshe, come to Pharaoh, that as a soul in a body, he goes into Pharaoh of holiness and receives the loftiest revelations of his blessed essence, meaning that the revelations of God Himself, from which Him burst forth and revealed all the lights. So the reason for all of this is that for we should make a dear Batapla and a dwelling place below. That's why He did all of this. According to this, we will understand why come to Pharaoh was an introduction and the beginning of the redemption. In addition to the simple meaning that through come to Pharaoh, in the negative sense, there is the nullification, the breaking of the negative entity of Pharaoh as he is in full strength in the balance of the king, which is the beginning of the redemption. This is also an essential matter, and there's also an essential matter in this. So in other words, the Rebbe is saying that we're going to talk about come to Pharaoh, and how it means in a very spiritual sense, in a higher level, like we're talking about above. But he says the simple meaning also we see that come to Pharaoh had to do with that we had to break the cleat of the evil of Pharaoh. That by breaking the evil of Pharaoh was that the head cleat of the head of evil, this was the beginning of the redemption, because you destroyed. There's two ways. One, bringing more revelation of God, and one is destroying the evil. This destroying the evil, destroying the darkness. The perfection of the redemption of Egypt, bringing the Jewish people to the giving of the Torah, to carry out the intention of a dwelling place in the lowest realms. That's why we got to receive the Torah, the revelation of the essence of Hashem, Anochi, which is the level of the essence of Hashem, in this physical world to Jews as souls in the body, that we should see God, we see that we're mamish part of God ourselves. A healthy soul and a healthy body. It's known that at the giving of Torah, all the Jews were healed, including Moshe as mentioned above. And we may say, so the Rebbe is saying something brand new here, that this is also alluded to in what Hashem tells the Jews before the giving of the Torah. And you should be for me a kingdom of Kohanim and a holy nation. that also, as they are a nation in this physical world, they are holy to the extent of being on the level of a kingdom of Kohanim, of high priest. A kingdom of high priest, which a high priest must be complete both from the perspective of his body as well as from the perspective of his wealth. And even his special clothing are for honor and for beauty, such that as the Jewish people are souls and bodies, they are completely one with Hashem. Let's go over this again. The perfection of the redemption of Egypt is bringing the Jewish people to the giving of the Torah to carry out the intention of a dwelling place in the lost realms, the revelation, the essence of Hashem Anochi in this physical world to Jews, the souls, and the bodies. That this, that Hashem should reveal His essence in us, a healthy soul and a healthy body, as is known to the giving of Torah. So in other words, we have to have this revelation they have to be healthy in all aspects, like is known as the giving of the Torah. The Jews were healed, including Moshe was mentioned above. And we may say that this is also alluded and is also hinted to it in what Hashem tells the Jews before the giving of the Torah. This idea that we are special people, that we're holy to God, there's even before the giving of Torah. He mentioned this. He says, "And you shall be for me a kingdom of Kohanim, a kingdom of priests, and a holy nation." That also, as they are a nation in this physical world, like all the peoples of the world, they are holy to the extent of being on the level of a kingdom of Kohanim, that they're the kingdom of high priests. Why? So what the Rebbe explains, what's it mean? It's special for a high priest, because high priests, we know in the Torah, had to be special and complete in every way. The Rebbe goes on to explain that, which that this is the Rebbe saying, this is the level in each and every Jew, and that Hashem has made us even before the giving of the Torah, which a high priest must be complete both from the perspective of his body, as well as from the perspective of his wealth. And even his special clothes are for honor and for beauty. He must be beautiful and must be holy, beautiful, wonderful in every aspect. As such, that as the Jews are souls and bodies, they are all completely one with Hashem. So this also, that the Jews, that we have our souls and body, we are completely one with Hashem. Like the Kohanim, I guess the nation of Kohanim, the high priest is completely one with Hashem. Okay. And similarly, it's also drawn down into the worldly unification of the upper realms and the lower realms, which was accomplished at the giving of Torah, including the revelation of the essence of Hashem in the lowest realms. So this, first we're talking about the Jews, how we're one with Hashem, and also it's drawn down this revelation of the Lord, that what's drawn down, what level from above, from the upper realms is drawn down into this lowest world. He says the revelations, including the essence of God, the highest of everything reveled, even beyond revelations, is brought down by the giving in this world. And since this is a great innovation, it's a new thing that a creation, a soul and a limited body shall become one with the unlimited, including with the essence of Hashem. As Moshe was puzzled by this, as Moshe was puzzled by this, he says, how is it possible that we should see Hashem and stay alive? And was afraid of him. Therefore, as a preparation and introduction for this, there was the phenomena, and Hashem said to Moshe, "Come to Pharaoh." Therefore, because he was afraid to do it, he said, "How can I do it?" Hashem said, "Come to Pharaoh." That a soul being in a body, Moshe, as he's in a state of limitations, in a situation there he could be in danger because of Pharaoh in the negative sense, he goes into power of holiness in an innermost fashion, and receives and takes in these loftiest revelations from his blessed essence. From him, Hashem, God, burst forth and revealed all the light. So he goes with Hashem regardless of anything. He's mysterious enough, but Hashem takes him, and Hashem's guarding, bringing him. And through it being so with Moshe, that from this is drawn forth the power to all the Jews, and that they shall have the ability to receive the revelations of the giving of the Torah, when the unification of the limited and the unlimited was accomplished, namely, this happened at the giving of Torah, the bursting forth of all lights, and a lamp is a mitzvah, a commandment, and the Torah is light, that all the lights and limitations are in a manner of bursting forth unlimited. So here we're saying here that we have the ability to do this. It goes again. And through it being so with Moshe, Moshe Rabbeinu was able to receive godliness, the essence of God, and remain in his body. From this is drawn forth the power to all the Jews, each and every one of us, that we should have the ability to receive the revelation of the giving of Torah when the unification of limited and unlimited was accomplished, that the Torah that we saw, everything was godliness, and God revealed himself in his total greatness, and the world still was in existence. The world still saw. It didn't go out of existence. Namely, so what is this great light? The world saw then, and we can see now also, the bursting forth of all the lights of the lamp. A lamp is a mitzvah, commandment, that Torah is a light. That all the lights, limitations, are in a manner of bursting forth, unlimited. So the lights in the world that here, but they're bursting forward. I don't know if he explains this later here or not. We've explained it before, but the idea is that the light itself, you reveal the source of the light. Since the source of everything is Hashem himself. So if that's revealed, that source causes the light can still stay in existence, but is bursting forward at the same time. As known, the Torah and mitzvah commandments on their own are in essence above limitations, the wisdom and will of Hashem. And the innovation of this is that not only as they are in essence, they are his essence, rather, also they descend below at the giving of the Torah in limitation, and their fulfillment and perfection is specifically dependent on limitation. So he says, first of all, they're above everything. But in order for the Torah and mitzvahs to be fulfilled, to be able to do them, they have to come down below, and they have to come in this limited world. And they have to, in order to fulfill them and do it in a complete way, they have to do it through the limitations. Indeed, their limitations itself is above limitation in regard to the Torah. So he says that in this, that even though it's limitation, it's above limitation. Both the written Torah, which has a limitation, a specific number of letters, etc., as well as the oral Torah, which must be studied specifically with limited intellect and understanding of the person, which specifically then one can make the blessing on the Torah. In other words, the written Torah is holy by itself, and if you don't understand it, you read it, it's okay. But the oral Torah, you have to understand what it says. And we have to understand from our own intellect. Like all throughout the Torah, it says that the laws are made to human intellect, understanding. So therefore, you have the oral Torah, which must be studied specifically with limited intellect and an understanding of the person, which specifically then one can make a blessing on the Torah. And more certainly in regards to mitzvahs, which every mitzvah has a limitation, the numerous details of the laws and the hidurim of every mitzvah according to its nature. Indeed, the limitation itself of all the lights, a lamp is a mitzvah and the Torah's light, is in a matter of bursting forward above limitation. Similarly to the phenomenon, the number will be that it cannot be measured or cannot be counted due to its abundance. Similarly to the phenomenon of the space of the ark is not included in the measurement, does not take up space. The Rebbe is explaining here that by doing Torah and mitzvahs, the Torah and mitzvahs, even though they're limited, they are unlimited. Because they have the unlimited life of Hashem. Because that was the idea from the Torah, and with giving of the Torah, that the essence of God could come down into limited world. So the essence of God is beyond limitation. So therefore they're limited because they have to be limited, because God makes them limited. At the same time, they're unlimited. They're revealed in unlimited manner. He brings a few things over here. They're talking about how a number is unlimited, that the number will be so much of number that you can't even count it. And then another one, he talks about the space of the very is interesting. I mean, I saw that this is something very special to me, because this is my first shechidus by the Rebbe. In the Holy Temple, and also in the Holy Tabernacle, they had the room. They had what's called the Holy of Holies, and in the Holy of Holies they had an ark, and in this ark they had the Ten Commandments. They had a few of the things they had in it, and it was made special way with gold. You have to look it up. Very special. It had a special cherubim at the top of it. A lot of special stuff. So when they would measure from one end of the tabernacle to the other end, I think it's by the tabernacle, or maybe it's with the base of Mikdash, maybe the base of Mikdash, they would end, it would be like 40 arms across. And if you measure from one side to one side of an aron, the aron, the special aron, it was two and a half amos wide. They would measure from one wall to one side of the aron. They would measure 10 amos. If they would measure from the other side to the other side of the aron, it would measure 10 amos. But the aron was 2.5 amos wide. So in other words, einam and amida. I mean, it took up space, but it didn't take up space. Now, I happened to my first yechidus with the Rebbe, something that my whole life I think about and trying to understand and trying to bring into myself. When I saw the Rebbe, one of the things I saw is that I saw that the Rebbe was every place. I mean, he was up very high and very low. I've never heard anybody say something like this. And the Rebbe was, though he was there, he was in the same room. It was like the Rebbe was every place, but he was in his body and in the same room. It was like the Aron HaKodesh, that the Rebbe had, you could see the infinite and the final. So let's go back. And from this, they're talking about this is the idea that in the finite world has the infinite light of Hashem. And from this being so that with the commandments, it is, i.e., the unification of limited and unlimited, is expressed also in the service of Jew, the recipient of Torah and mitzvahs, and what we're serving Hashem, that also as he exists as a body, as a soul and body in the physical world, with all the limitations that are related to this, he must be in a state of above limitations. The Rebbe is saying we have to go above, we must be in a state not only of above, but not only from the perspective of the part of his soul, about which it says, your soul, the soul you have placed in me is pure, says this above limitations, and is above limitations of the body. Rather, even as he is in the state of true limitations in this physical world, even that we're dealing in our daily life, what we're doing, namely, in his physical body, where he needs the phenomena of you have to guard it, the soul within me. We have to be careful, denoting that it is found in a world where there's negativity. God has to guard us because of the negative world that is dangerous. There can and must be, even in such a world, by him the phenomena have come to Pharaoh. Even I'm dealing with all my own Yetzirah, my own difficulties, and I see in the world all the problems. I have to come to Pharaoh. That from him burst forth all the lights, that he receives all the lights, and furthermore that his limitation itself is in a manner of bursting forth above limitations. In other words, that even though we're in such a difficult place, such a darkness, but nevertheless, we have to live in a way of redemption. Why? Because Hashem is totally with us and has totally revealed himself to us. So by this, we have to take in the limitation of the world and live it in a level above, bursting forth above limitations. And the reason for this is that because the Jewish people, humbly one blessedly, are completely one. Where Mom is really one with God. Not only from the perspective of one soul above, or as a part of his soul, rather, his whole being as a soul and a body together is completely one with Hashem, so to say, for when you grasp part of the essence, you grasp the whole thing. This is very, very interesting. Generally, we think about, generally, I've learned Chassidus and stuff, I know if you think about how the soul's one with God, but the body's separate because in this physical body, and has its desires, it has its wants, but how the soul's one with God. So the Rebbe is saying, no, he says when you're talking about that mamish that we're one with God, that means me in this physical body. It's free route. I'm mamish one with God. You, anybody watch, we're all mamish really one with God. It's an amazing thing. Nobody really, and that we're holy and we're special. And we can grasp, because let's go over this again. So this is what we're talking about. We're mamish one with God. And the reason for this being that the Jewish people, so how can we receive all these lights and do this? How is it possible to be in a limited world and live a godly life with revelations of the essence of godliness without limitation? How can you do that? The reason for this is because the Jewish people and the Holy One, blessed be, are completely one. Not only from the perspective of one soul above, or part of his soul, rather the whole being, as a soul in a body together, is completely one with Hashem, so to say, for when you grasp part of the essence, you grasp part of the whole thing. Was understood also from the ruling, and like the opinion of the Rambam, that the ultimate perfection of the reward for the service of God leading up to the redemption, and automatically the perfection of everything, is specifically given to souls in the body in the era of resurrection, and not to souls without the bodies, like the opinion of the Rambam. So there are different opinions, different rabbis, and we said that the main thing when Mashiach comes, the main redemption, there's different opinions say that the souls will be resurrected in the body or not, I guess. But the main thing the Rebbe says, how we hold, what's the way for us, is that the bodies the main revelation will be when the souls get up and they're able to do Torah and mitzvahs in physical bodies. And on the contrary, in the time to come, the souls receive nourishment from the body. So therefore it says, right now, generally the body receives nourishment from the soul. But in times to come, it says the body will be revealed how it's a much higher level, and this can reveal the essence, and it's a higher level, and the soul will receive body from it. And according to the above, I'm on number 9, page 119. And according to the above explanation, we will also understand what Moshe said to Pharaoh in the continuation of the Parsha. You will also place in our hands animal sacrifices and animals for burning offerings, and you shall make them for and we shall make them for Hashem our God. And afterwards, what Hashem told Moshe, please speak before the nation that a man shall borrow from his friend and from a woman and from her friend silver and gold coins. And Hashem granted the nation grace in the eyes of the Egyptians, also man. Moshe was very great in the land of Egypt, the eyes of the servants of Pharaoh, and the eyes of the nation. And afterward, the Torah repeats this. When the Jews actually fulfilled this, the Jewish people did as Moshe said, and they borrowed from the Egyptians. And Hashem granted the nation and grace in the eyes of the Egyptians, and they lent them their gold, etc. And they emptied Egypt from their riches. In addition to the first time that is mentioned in the Parshas Shmos, comes out that the Torah repeats this 3 times. In other words, the Rebbe's explain saying, so what happened when we left Egypt? The Jews Hashem told the Jews, and the Jews told the Goyim that we're leaving, and we want to take everything with us. We want to take what you have also with us, because we're going to need this. And it repeated this whole idea 3 times that the Jews are going to talk to them, and that the Egyptian found grace in their eyes, and they gave them everything. What's the importance? For seemingly it's not understood why it is important for the redemption of Egypt that you will also place in our hands, that the phenomena that they emptied Egypt from their riches be specifically in a manner, and they lent them, and furthermore specifically with finding favor. So not only did they give them, why? First of all, did we have to leave Egypt, have all of this stuff in our hands? And why it's so important that we had to empty Egypt from riches? And the way we lent it out is that they gave it to us. They lent it to us, and then finally they found favor. They wanted to give it to us, to the extent that Hashem himself guaranteed that it will be in such a manner. Hashem granted the nation grace in the eyes of the Egyptians. Hashem said this will happen, that the Egyptian will see the Jewish people and will say, please go take this. You're holy people, you're special people. Please, take this. You need this, you deserve this. When the Jews are holding by going out of Egypt after hundreds of years of slavery, there should have been an effort in looking for ways to run away from there as fast as possible, not delay because of finding favor in the eyes of the Egyptians. Even if there had to be the phenomenon of they emptied in order to fulfill the promise of Hashem to Abraham, and afterwards they will leave with great riches, why did this have to be specifically done in a manner of borrowing? So in other words, that when Hashem told Abraham, he said that your children will go into Galus, but I'll bring them out with great riches. So the Rebbe says they could get great riches, but they didn't have to go through all of this. Why did they have to specifically go into the manner of borrowing, that they could have taken items during the plague of darkness or like, and specifically with finding favor in their eyes? In other words, they said when they left, they lent us their things. They could have taken it when nobody could see anything. They would have never known what happened. So why did they have to do it that it was done in a favorable way? And we may say the explanation of this is that since the intention of the Egyptian exodus was in order to accomplish a dwelling in the lowest realms, indeed, the perfection of this, not in the manner of breaking, rather specifically when the physicality of the world itself, including the opponent himself, the Egyptians willingly agrees to help out as much as possible in the Exodus. So the whole idea is that the more everybody gets involved in doing what Hashem wants, even the Egyptians, and they want to agree, they want to help out because they see we're holy people. They also want to do what Hashem wants. So then you're making a dwelling place in the whole world. True that in a certain in a case in which there's no other way, we're on page 121. True that in a case when there's no other way helps other than nullifying and breaking the opponent, as it was through the Egyptians' plagues, and the Egyptian plagues, that is how it must be, due to no choice, so to say. However, after this, when it is only possible, we put effort that it should be specifically done in a pleasant manner. In other words, we should make the world holy in a special manner. Sometimes you have to get rid of something because it's so bad that there's no way of bringing it up to a higher level. That was the plagues. But we should always look for a way to elevate, that everything should become to Hashem without being broken. With this acts as preparation for the complete phenomenon of dwelling place for Hashem Himself, blessed be He, in the lowest realms, in the true and complete redemption, when even the snake, the big serpent Pharaoh, will be the great servant for holiness. Well, thank you very much, everybody. Thank you very much, and Mitzvah Hashem, we're going to hopefully finish this tomorrow. Just remember, we're all part of God, and remember that we can draw from this, it's real, and that we can help each other out, and we have to look at this and think about this and bring it out of ourselves more and more, and by that we'll get sooner and sooner to the final redemption, and we will have the biggest party in our life in the third base of Mikdash, which Mama should happen right now.